So March Madness of 2025 is now over. And these are the most followed March Madness stars on Instagram. Number one, Paige Bueckers from now the UConn Championship Huskies at 2.1 million. Flau'jae Johnson from LSU has 2 million followers. Hailey Van Lith from TCU has 1.2 million followers. JuJu Watkins has 1.1 million followers. She's from USC. Hope JuJu gets well so we can see her in next year's March Madness. And number 5, the only guy, Cooper Flagg from Duke, 1 million. One thing this says is that the men's college basketball got to do a better job of promoting their stars, because the only person we really heard about is Cooper Flagg. Like, Houston's playing in the national championship. And I don't know if people know the players off of Houston. Like, people knew Cooper Flagg. But Cooper Flagg had a lot of fanfare coming into this season. And he's played really well. And who knows if he's going to stay or not. But, years ago, you could rattle off most NCAA men's basketball players with ease, like the Fab Five of Chris Webber and Jalen Rose, Georgetown with Patrick Ewing and Alonzo Mourning and Dikembe Mutombo and Allen Iverson, Duke with Christian Laettner and Grant Hill, and even Kyrie Irving. Like, Kyrie didn't play that many games at Duke because he was hurt, but we kind of knew who Kyrie was. But because there's one and done in men's college basketball, it's harder to know these guys. And so for the ladies usually stay in college for at least 2 to 3 years, so you know them a little bit better. Totally different from football, college football. College football, you got the Heisman race, and I just think they do a better job of promoting the guys. And those guys stay in school for 3 years. So it's easier to know a football player after 3 years in college than it is to know most basketball players in college. So I started thinking, it's like, okay, these are the followers. What about the NIL? Who's topping NIL? So Cooper Flagg is number 2 overall and number 2 amongst men. I think his valuation, because they go by valuations, is 4.8 million. That's pretty nice. Number 1, though, is Arch Manning, son of Cooper Manning, the funny brother who does stuff on Fox Sports, and the nephew of Eli and Peyton Manning. So I think some people probably think that Arch is the son of Peyton or Eli. It's like, no, he's their nephew. So Arch Manning is at 6.5 million valuation. So I don't know, when we do these valuations, is that the exact figure? Is that more? Is that less? We don't know. But the valuation is 6.5 million. He's number 1. And the funny thing is, Arch didn't even play until towards the end of last season. I mean, he got that money on the strength of the Manning name and the strength of people think that he's going to be the next Manning star. But we still have to see as he play in Texas. So Arch is number 1 at 6.5 overall. Cooper is number 2 overall at 4.8 million. But there's one woman overall that's in the top 4, and that is Livvy Dunne. Livvy Dunne is a gymnast from LSU. Pretty girl, nice body. She's been dating Paul Skeens from who's the rookie of the year of the Pittsburgh Pirates. They met at LSU when he pitched for LSU. So I understand it from a look standpoint why Livvy Dunne is number 1, but she's not the best college female athlete. So Livvy Dunne her valuation is 4.1 million. And if you look at the list, I think Flau'jae Johnson is second with 1.5 million. And then they have Paige Bueckers. Now the funny thing is, we don't know how much her valuation is. Like, a lot of young ladies don't have their numbers out there, which makes a lot of sense. You want to protect them. You don't want some crazy dude running up on them, or some crazy chicks running up on them. So some women's valuation is missing. But you have to think that Paige Bueckers is making as much as Flau'jae Johnson, or even more than Flau'jae Johnson. But Livvy Dunne, number 1 this year. She was even number 1 when Caitlin Clark was dominating. Yeah, Caitlin Clark had Angel Reese. Livvy Dunne was number 1 then. That year, that's probably like 2023 maybe. Livvy Dunne was like 3.8 million, and Caitlin Clark was like 3.1 million in valuation. Now, you would think, as big as Caitlin Clark was back then in college, you would think that her numbers at least would have been close to like where Cooper Flagg's numbers is at 4.8. It's like, nope. She was behind Livvy Dunne. It's not a knock on Livvy Dunne, but Livvy Dunne is a good gymnast, but she's not like Olympic caliber. Because I was like, well, if she's that good, she should be in the Olympics. And I typed that in the chat GPT. I asked chat, is she good enough to be in the Olympics? And he's like, nah, she all right. It was funny because they said she made her money basically from her looks, technically, and from social media. That's, she's a good gymnast. but it's mostly social media how she got over. Even with Hailey Van Lith, like she's at TCU, pretty girl, very talented basketball player. Very talented basketball player, will do well in the WNBA. But you would think with JuJu Watkins should be, she should be making pretty good money. But I think her valuation currently is under $1 million. Yeah, I think her numbers were like 762,000. And you would think that JuJu Watkins' numbers will probably be at least 1.5, about 2 million. I do wonder. The guy's a little bit different. Because I guess you're basing it on potential and star power, I guess. But the ladies, I don't think the ladies are treated as fairly. I think a lot of it is based on looks versus actual skill, because it was based on actual skill. Livvy Dunne would have been behind not just Caitlin Clark, but also Angel Reese. And if we talk about skill, Livvy Dunne definitely should be behind Paige Bueckers. Flau'jae Johnson, you could kind of debate that, but definitely. JuJu Watkins definitely should be ahead of Livvy Dunne, you would think. Even Hailey Van Lith, she's a pretty girl. You would think her numbers would be at least up there with Livvy Dunne. So I don't know. So if you're a person who's been involved with NIL, either as an agent, or you wrote stories about it, or you've been actually a player, let me know how that works. Because, now we look at the people who are making millions of dollars, right? Which is fantastic. I wish I had $1 million in college. But there's college kids who might be making $50,000. They're making a middle-class salary going to college. Can you imagine? It's one thing if you're Cooper Flagg. Right? Can you imagine being Cooper Flagg and your valuation is $4.8 million? Imagine how it was if you or a friend of yours got their student loan checks back in the day. How happy y'all was. Because you should be spending that money on books, but you're buying like lobster. You got a new car. But imagine if you're a millionaire in college. That's why it's going to be interesting to see if Cooper Flagg stays in college, because he's already a millionaire. I mean, if you Cooper Flagg and Carolina and Charlotte wins the lottery, do you really want to go to Charlotte and play for Charlotte and play on a bad team, or would you rather play for Duke and try to win a championship? Because my feeling is, since Duke flamed out, if I'm Cooper Flagg, like, that's unfinished business, because you don't want to say like, man, what if? Now some people say, hey man, he can make more money in the NBA. Technically, I mean, there's a rookie salary cap, but he'll probably make a whole much more money from branding deals, far more than he's making in college. But I don't know, man. If he's like a through and through Dookie, and if I'm him, losing the way they lost, like they were up like 14 points, and they lost to Houston, that leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I think I would come back. And again, people seem to forget Tim Duncan stayed in college for 4 years. Michael Jordan was in college for like 2 to 3 years. Most guys back in the day, that's legends, they stay in school for three to 4 years. So if Cooper Flagg spends another year in college and he's only there for 2, I mean, what's the harm? He's already rich. He's already rich. I can't imagine. Oh my God. But yeah, so I can't imagine making a middle-class salary. There might be some kid, hell, I don't know, the University of Akron, Kent State, and they're making like 25 grand a year. And for a college student, that's a lot of money. $25,000 for an 18-year-old kid. Yeah, you would love to make millions of dollars, but if all you pulling in on your NIL deal is $25,000 a year, that's not bad. That's not bad. So if you have any experience of NIL, tell us what the process is like. And if you're a Cooper Flagg, what do you do? Do you stay in college, still make even more NIL money, and try to win a national championship, or do you go into the into the league? And if you lose in the lottery, you end up with Charlotte. I don't know, man. I don't think I would be too happy. If Chicago wins the lottery, that actually might be pretty good, but I don't think that might not happen unless there's some funny business. But yeah, if you're Cooper Flagg, what do you do? Do you stay or do you go?